Good morning, everyone. This is Financial Literacy 101. And today we're going to get into the discussion. We're going to get into this debate about checkers, not chess, and when it comes to entrepreneurship versus being an employee. And I believe that if you just give me a moment, if you just don't turn off and stop listening to the video, that you may learn something and a concept you probably never heard before. Well, I did a cigar talk the other night, basically giving people a different mindset about checkers and not chess, because the term, the concept, the thought, the ideas that we've always had that chess is a more strategic game than checkers. So people said that game is a life of chess, not checkers. So first and foremost, let's define what chess truly is. And I think it's very, very important, okay? We're going to do a quick varies of different definitions so we understand the premise that I'm trying to build here. So chess, a board game of strategic skills for two players based on a checkered board. Each player begins the game with 16 pieces that are moved and used to capture opposing pieces according to precise rules. The object is to put the opponent's king under direct attack from which escape is impossible. If you notice, though, right off the bat, the game of chess doesn't teach you how to conquer the other king. You just capture, you corner, and you make it impossible to move. But the king is never killed. The king is never taken. He's just essentially cornered. He's trapped, okay? Because in the game of chess, if you ever played, you know that you have 16 pieces that move around the board. Each piece has their own different precisions, different avenues of approach. Take, for instance, the rook go left and right, up and down. The knight goes L-shaped. The bishop goes diagonally. And then the queen can pretty much do every movement except going L-shaped like a knight. The king can move in any position, but he only can move one step at a time. And that's why he has a whole entourage, he has a whole army that's in front of him to protect him, okay? Because while your king is being protected, you have to also go out and fight the war against the other opponents. Now, this is what makes this game so strategic in a matter, so strategic in a sense that people believe that life is a game of chess and not checkers. I believe that this is absolutely wrong. I believe that checkers is more important than chess. Now, we need to understand that checkers is actually a much older game than chess. Okay, chess was created in Egypt. I don't really know the timeline, but checkers is like 100, 200 years even older than chess. But I said that this is absolutely a wrong concept and that you should probably look at it and think about it in a different manner. So let's just define the word wrong. It says not in accordance with what is morally right or good, a wrong deed, deviating from truth or fact, erroneous, a wrong answer, not correct in action, judgment, opinion, method, etc. A person is in error. You are wrong to blame him. So people are wrong to give you the mindset of chess, not checkers. So now let's define checkers. So checkers is also known as draughts. Now it says it is a group of strategy board games for two players, which involve diagonally moves of uniform game pieces. And listen to this, pieces are mandatory captures by jumping over the other person's opponent. If you guys ever played checkers, remember back in the day, like I blow your man for not taking that jump? Because he knew that strategically that was not a good jump. But in the game of checkers, you have to take that jump. Now in the game of chess, you're like, well, I can retreat, I can regroup, I can move back except for my pawns, but all my other pieces essentially can move forward. Now, one of the first moves in chess, ladies and gentlemen, you know that you want to put that pawn in the middle of the board so you can actually control the middle of the board. So why am I saying that checkers is more important than chess? Well, this is very, very easy. And I want you to think about it from a very strategic point of view, because we have not been doing that. Let's take, for instance, we're talking about entrepreneurship versus employee, right? Because we want to make sure that finance is at the hallmark and that we're always fighting, we're always striving, hard work and discipline to break free from the corporations that we work from. Now make your money, but you also can funnel that money. You can also invest that money and either to your own business or multiply your money by investing and or saving. Now we understand that the number one thing, employees seek direction. Employees seek direction while entrepreneurs create a path. Employees seek direction while employees seek direction while entrepreneurs create a path. What am I talking about? We're talking about checkers, not chess. Because in the game of chess, the pieces on a board can only move in their prescribed and dictated movements, meaning that a knight, he can only move in L shape, meaning that a bishop, he can only move diagonally, meaning that a rook can go up and down, left and right, and that's it. He can't move L shape. He can't move diagonally. No, he cannot. And the king can only take one step at a time. But on a checkers board, all the pieces started off with the same role and the same value. They're essentially all pawns on the same board. But here's a huge difference between chess and not checkers. Once your men get taken, once your pieces get taken on a chessboard, the only piece that you can retain is getting your queen and everything that falls under the queen. Once your king is taken, the game is over. Now in the game of checkers, because all of your pieces start off with the same role and same value, you can get multiple kings. And when one king is taken, the other king takes over, so on and so forth. See, that's the huge difference between employees versus entrepreneurs. Because as an employee, you seek direction. See, you need to have prescribed movements. You need for someone to tell you absolutely everything you need to do, while the person who was playing checkers moved along the board strategically and learned all the skills and experience and wisdom and knowledge that they need to be a king, and they don't need to be an employee. This is very, very important because chess continues to keep your mind frame, your mindset, and in an employee's environment. Where playing checkers eventually is teaching you to be what? To be a king, to be an entrepreneur, to be an owner of your own business. See, employees do while entrepreneurs listen. See, you need that king when you're playing chess to give you directions. So you're just a doer. That's all you do. But when I'm playing checkers, I'm all of the pieces. I'm the king, I'm the queen, I'm the rook, I'm the knight, I'm the bishop, I'm the pawn. So I have to listen and strategize and gain wisdom and knowledge before I go out. I mean, because think about it. It's the employee who gets the most of the work done in any organization, but in order for them to do it well, the entrepreneur at the helm has to listen to their needs and ensure they maintain a productive and positive work environment for everyone that works there. What about this one? As an employee, you take fewer risks, while entrepreneurs live for them. They live for risk. Because if we're all starting off with the same value, same role, and we're playing checkers, we all have equal risks. But see, in the game of chess, we know that each piece have different types of risk if you ever played the game. Because while doing things the safest way you can actually do in chess may not be good for your organization as an employee. Now, I want you guys really to read through the fine lines I'm telling you. I want to make sure that you can go back and forth with my metaphors and analogies. I don't want you to get lost in the sauce. Please listen. Because there's a risk tolerance that occurs with entrepreneurs. Because entrepreneurs, believe it or not, they may even say, oh, I'm playing chess, not checkers. No, you're playing checkers. And we need to understand the difference between the two because we've been taught that chess is more important and more strategic than checkers. No, it's not. Because when you think about it, ladies and gentlemen, which game is really more difficult when you know all the pieces and all the movements? Then you say, oh, well, then it boils down to strategy. Well, then it does, because when you have to strategize more to get those pieces from the checkers board to the other end of the board so they can be king, whereas though you start off with a game of chess already with a king, ding, 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 ding. And we need to understand that employees are often specialists while entrepreneurs are generalists. Meaning that you as an employee, you got your certification, you got your degree, and you're working for somebody. You're looking for a job that values your skill set that you went to school for or a course for. Well, when an entrepreneur like myself, which I do on the side, I had to do pretty much everything myself. I had to learn everything myself. I had to learn Photoshop. I had to learn how to go to the IRS and form an LLC and get an EIN number. I had to find out and seek out other people with certain talents to make my logo and slogans and music. All of these things entrepreneurs have to do for themselves when you're building a business. You have to file all the paperwork. So that's why entrepreneurs are generalists, and that's why checkers are generalists, because they all start off the same way. But it's how they maneuver and move around the board that make them more valuable than other people who started off with the same role and same value. But not as an employee. Not as an employee when you're playing chess. See, the corporations, business, and organizations, they want you to play chess. They don't want you. If we have more entrepreneurs than we have employees, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Those corporations, those businesses that you guys don't like working for would not exist. Would not exist. When I said on my cigar talk the other time, I said, what if you had a certification instead of a college degree? What if you was a plumber, an electrician? You could literally go off today, start a business, do all the proper paperwork, and start putting yourself on Angie's List, Home Advisor, and all these other platforms, and literally have your own business within a week. And depending on the market that you're in, because right now it's a seller's market, so everybody's looking for skilled labor, those people specializing with those particular skills, whether you be a carpenter, electrician, a plumber, or maybe even a trucker. This is certification. I want you to think about that. But see, you playing the game of chess does not teach you how to be a generalist, a jack of all trades, so to speak. What it teaches you that you are a knight and the only thing you can do is move L shape. Yeah. Oh, you went to school with business. Well, here's your position here. Oh, what am I? You're a business assistant. So what do you do? Oh, I peddle paper all day. I make sure that reports are turned in all the time. What else do you do? That's pretty much it. I do some Excel spreadsheets. I type out a few papers. Okay, so that's all your talents. Yep, that's pretty much it. So what do? Well, I taught myself Photoshop. Also, I am now a notary. This is real life, family. I'm telling you my true business. I'm now a notary. Well, why did you need that? Because maybe I need to do some paperwork that needed, my stamp on it. They're probably not associated with myself, but one of my business partners. So I had to also take a course in business to understand certain lingo and certain vernacular and lexicons. It's like, this is the difference between an employee and entrepreneurs. Why do you think entrepreneurs seems much more intelligent of an employee who has a bachelor's or a master's degree? That's because they have to be a generalist and not an employee, which is a specialist. That's the difference, family. That's what chess teach you. See, employees get paid for their role while entrepreneurs get paid for their results. Uh-oh. Because when you think about it, you play a role when you're playing chess. You have one role and that is all. You have one role and that is all. If you are the bishop on a chessboard, the only thing you're going to get paid for is moving diagonally. But if you are a piece on a checkers board, then you have to maneuver. You have to strategize. You have to move out very, very, very carefully in order to reach the other side, which ends up being a king. And in the game of entrepreneurship, there could be multiple kings. But see, if you notice, ladies and gentlemen, in the game of chess, how many kings are there? How many kings are there? There are some variations of chess where if you make a pawn to the other side, there's an extra queen you can play with. So you can actually have two queens on a board, but you can never have two kings. Not in the game of chess. That is you working for a corporation. That is you working for an organization in business. You see how that works? See, when Walmart and Target and all these big conglomerate groups came inside certain communities and neighborhoods, what happened to your mom and pop stores? What happened to your local corner stores? They started to slow down, then they end up closing down. That's what occurs. Now Walmart, Target, Amazon, they have all of these small shops because now they're even more intrinsically inside of community to say, okay, well, usually we have this in a shopping center. Usually we have this 30 minutes out of a city. Now we're going to do Walmart and Target goes. That's what we're going to have. We're going to put these right inside of everyday neighborhoods to once again shut down and close down mom and pop stores because these organizations are playing checkers and not chess. See, that's the problem, family. They want us to play chess while they're playing checkers. What am I talking about? They realize that they start off at one part of the board. They start off as a very, very small company, and they move to the other side of the board, and they get kinged. All the while they was going about in treacherous, strategically landfalls, they were jumping over other pieces, taking them. Have you noticed that if you guys go and look up Google, Amazon, Tesla, look at all the companies that they bought along the way. I want you guys to look at all the companies that these large corporations like Facebook, Google, Microsoft, IBM. Look at these large corporations and then look at the other small businesses that they bought out or put out. See, what they do is say, hey, we know your business is worth $3 million. We're going to give you $10 million, though, because they understand the value in that business, that over the course of time, that business will exponentially grow. But they want to kill that, want to give them a little bit more money than what the business is worth, so they can just say, yeah, I'll take that. But all the while, they're just jumping pieces along the checkerboard. See, they're not playing chess. They're not playing chess. The only time these corporations or organizations play chess is when what? When they face one another. See, Target and Walmart, they're playing chess now because they already finished playing checkers because they already took over all the mom and pop and small little corner stores. That is the difference, family. Because I understand that you being an employee playing chess, you appreciate steady employment, while entrepreneurs are comfortable without job security. See, when I look at these, I understand that they started off very, very small, very, very dangerously. These are the things that we have to think about. Employees follow rules while entrepreneurs break them. See, entrepreneurs break rules and make rules while employees follow rules. That's the difference. Again, you're playing a game that you don't even know the way you should move. You're playing the wrong game. You ever been inside of your car and you even had a GPS, directions, the address, and for some strange reason, maybe you was having a conversation in the car with another person or you was on the phone and you miss your turn, but you travel 5, 10, 15 miles. Because I know I did this before. I did this quite recently. I'm up here trying to reach McKinney, Texas, and I end up in Principal or Prosper, like 15, 20 miles out the way because I was in a conversation. I guess I was so deep inside the conversation, I took a turn thinking it was my right turn, but it was my wrong turn. And I'm 15 miles from the actual turn I should have taken. This is where you are when you start playing chess and not thinking like checkers. I'm just trying to give you something different, family, because I think that we've all been duped. We've all been tricked. This is what happens when you're living in the matrix. They show you one thing, but that's not actually the truth. Because when we need to think about this, that employees are responsible for some decisions while entrepreneurs are responsible for all of them. And again, correlating contrast tells us that when I'm on a chessboard, I'm getting my directions from the king. You being a chess player, you understand that the king on the board is the most important piece because once he is captured, not killed, not taken, when he is captured, the game is over. But in the game of checkers, you may have 8 to 10 pieces. And when those pieces reach the other side, they become kings. And when one of those kings are captured, the game is not over. The game is not over until every piece on the board is taken. And there's really no line of defense. There's really no line of defense, family. Because in checkers, there's around 12 pieces. In chess, there's around 16 pieces. But the difference is when you're looking at a chessboard, the king, queen, and the most important pieces other than the pawns, because a lot of people will tell you that pawns are the most important pieces. The pawns are the first line of defense, and that's what you are. You're a pawn. And they're moving you about how they see fit. And then when that doesn't pan out, they use the other pieces on the board. Because there's a rank structure. But on a checkerboard, every piece have the same role and same value. Now, just because of the precedence and the order that they're set, the first layer of checkers have to move first in order for the other checker pieces to move forward as well. This is very, very interesting. Now, for you guys who are not understanding how to play the game of checkers, I mean, let's look at it very quickly, family. Let's look at how we should play the game of checkers. Let's look at this.
The object of the game is to capture all your opponent's checkers or trap your opponent so no move can be made. Player 1 begins the game by making the first move. The checkers can move diagonally forward one space. Player 2 moves a checker for his turn. Players take turns moving one checker at a time. A checker is captured by jumping the opponent's checker with your own checker. A jump can be made when the square behind your opponent's checker is open. More than one checker can be captured during a turn by multiple jumps being made with the same checker. Player 2 is able to capture 2 of Player 1's checkers on this turn. Players continue to take turns making moves. Skipping ahead,
family, as you can tell, that checkers move diagonally and take pieces diagonally. So when you compare it to the game of chess, it seems as though that chess is much, much easier than the game of checkers, because in the game of checkers, you can only move diagonally while you're taking pieces diagonally. But the cool thing about checkers is that when you gain that wisdom, knowledge, experience, and skills as an entrepreneur, being a generalist, you can do a multitude of jumps. You can double jump, triple jump. And if it's set up in a certain way, you can quadruple jump. But not in the game of chess. We make it so slow, methodically, and you can take one piece at a time. But that's not how corporations do. That's not how businesses do. See, they do a double jump, triple jump. When you see these evaluations of a company, and the evaluations based upon the amount of employees that bring in cash for them, because you're working your butt off. You're getting to work early, you're leaving late, and you have nothing to show for but a small, measly 401k that they even probably match you 3 to 4%. But I would tell you, keep that job and let them play chess with you. But I would advise you on the side for you to play checkers, so you can have a real retirement, so you can live a real life and have great experiences and great vacations and do absolutely what you want to do with your life. And another major difference between employees and entrepreneurs is that employees execute tasks while entrepreneurs plan. Employees execute tasks while entrepreneurs plan. Because when you really think about it, family, an employee can take a work day, day by day. Whereas though an entrepreneur has to consider how well tasks are being performed relative to the long-term plan for the entire business. See, the game of checkers is a very strategic game. The problem is that we minimize it so far down that we made it a very quick game, very fun game. But when I think about it, I think that you should start playing checkers very, very slowly and play chess very, very quickly, because that's what they're doing with you. And here's the thing. Employees, I know you love your holidays because they get the day off, while entrepreneurs don't. Entrepreneurs actually work. But here's the thing. A lot of entrepreneurs rejoice when holidays come along, not because they're taking well-deserved time off, but because they can be productive all day without being disrupted or distracted. Yeah, as an entrepreneur, you're going to have to work holidays. As an entrepreneur, you're going to have to work weekends. But the question is it worth it? Absolutely. It's called freedom. See, if you've never been an entrepreneur and if you're not striving to an entrepreneur, I would advise you to start at least inquiring about it, researching about it, reading about it, asking questions about it. And again, I'm not telling you to quit your job, but what I'm telling you is if you being an entrepreneur or starting your own business as a vehicle, what I would want you to do is use your job, the money and income that it provides you, as fuel for your actual career and something you actually want to do. This is Financial Literacy 101. I want you guys to learn money and be inspired and understand that this new mind frame and mindset that I'm giving you, don't try to resist it. Don't try to fight it. Just try to understand where I'm coming from. And if you haven't gotten enough information of the points I'm trying to make here, look at my last cigar talk about playing checkers, not chess. Okay, checkers, not chess. But this one actually said chess, not checkers. Because I raised the question because I want to see where people's minds are. You guys have a great and wonderful day. And I'll see you guys on the next one. I'm out.